Focus on doing so much volume that it'd be unreasonable for you not to master the skill. Forget about the money for now. Do what you gotta do. Put in that extra work, and by doing that extra volume, that is gonna set you apart from everyone else. Volume is the main topic of this video. Volume is what will set you apart in this industry. And by this industry, I mean sales, appointment setting, entrepreneurship, whatever it is. Volume is going to set you apart, especially if you are like a new business owner, a new appointment setter. This is how you're going to win. In life, most people are lazy. Most people are super lazy. Obviously, I say this all the time. Average appointment setters make around 5K a month, and average appointment setters don't work very hard. That's just a fact of life. Like, you could go to the gym, you could be inside of the gym and you can see regulars in the gym. You could go to the gym at the same time every day, you'll see the same people, and okay, you think, okay, they're consistent, they're going to their gym every single day, they're above average. But even among the regulars at the gym, most of the regulars still don't work very hard. They take the time to show up to the gym every single day and don't even train hard when they get there. It's the same with everything. Like, you think once you get to 10K a month that, oh yeah, most of the people that are making 10K a month, they must work super hard. No. Most people that in all areas of life are lazy. And if you want to set yourself apart from most people, if you want to get to the top 1%, then this is something that you've got to absolutely destroy. You can't be lazy. If you want to be competitive, if you want to crush your competition, you need to be willing to do more than everyone else. You need to be willing to do the things that they're not willing to do. So if most people are lazy, we're going to assume here that you want to be the top 1% because that's why you're watching this video. You want to absolutely crush it in your industry. You need to be a savage. You need to adopt the savage mentality. Don't know if you guys have read David Goggins books. I'm a massive David Goggins fan. You need to be willing to do what they are not willing to do. A lot of these guys, whether they're into business, entrepreneurship, or whatever, they are what David Goggins would call part-time savages.
That's the definition of part-time savage.
And I love this term because it's so true. And what this means is they can get the work done. They sit there, they can grind for a couple of hours each night. Let's say that they have got a 9 to 5 at the moment. They come home from work and they dedicate 3 hours to their grind. Part-time savages. They clock in and clock out. These are those balance fuckers. Not balance is key. You know who I'm on about. These guys, full of shit. All of them. These soft guys. Balance is key, yo. It's okay if I play video games in moderation. These guys, part-time savages, they can get the work done if they put their mind to it, but they clock in, they clock out. They're not fully committed to their goals. This is not how you get to the top 1%. If you want to get to the top 1%, it's do or die. It's the mindset it's do or die. That's the mindset that I have in the Alpha Setter program. That's what I expect of all of my students, that you need to be willing to fully commit yourself to this. So with all that being said, to try and keep it on topic, volume is the main topic of this video. The more, like, as an appointment setter, of course, the more messages you send, the more calls you're going to book, and the more calls you book, the more money you're going to make. So of course, increasing your volume is the fastest way to increase your results, and it's the same in business. Let's say you are running ads. Doubling your ads is going to doubling your ads theoretically, hopefully, is going to double your revenue. The main point is 2x the input, 2x the output. The input being something like appointment setting, of course. So let's say you are doing cold outreach. Maybe you're doing an outbound appointment setting position. You're doing cold outreach at the moment and you want to double your money as an appointment setter doing cold outreach. Booked calls is the amount of income that you're making, because the amount of book calls you make indirectly is the amount of sales that you're going to make. So your job as an appointment setter is to book as many calls as possible by doing cold outreach. So if you 2x over here, then you 2x over here. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. But the point of this video is that this is not true. 2x over here does not equal 2x over here. And I'm gonna tell you why. You know, maths ain't mathing right now. I know that sounds a little bit odd. Like, of course it does, but no, that it generally doesn't. 2x over here probably equals like a 2.3x over here or something like that. And I'm gonna tell you why. So 2x volume equals more than like a bigger return of your input. So this is the stuff that people are not willing to do. This is for the full-time savages. Full-time savages, they don't clock in and clock out. They are fully committed to their goals. And if you are a savage and you're willing to do whatever it takes to hit your goals, to separate yourself from average appointment setters, start earning those 15K, 20K months, this is what you need to be willing to do. Let's say an average appointment setter sends, let's say they send 50 messages per day of outreach. 100 messages a day, 5 hours of work. May or may not take 5 hours, depends on how slow you are, how many platforms. But let's say you send 100 messages a day, 5 hours of work, and you are currently making 50K per year. And now we are going to double this, do 200 messages a day for 10 hours of work per day. And this is the difference, because you're literally doubling every single day. That every single day, like, that's such a massive difference, being able to show up and do that every day. They're not willing to do that. They might be willing to put in an extra couple of hours on a Friday night or something. But for the most part, you're consistent. You're showing up and you're doing this every single day. You would think that the results from this would end up, okay, now you're making 100K a year, but it's probably something like 110. In fact, you know what, we'll go with the maths. 130K per year. And again, the maths doesn't add up here, but I'm going to draw some diagrams and explain why this makes sense. So the main point of the volume is, yes, your volume is going to directly increase your sales, because the more volume you do, the more people are going to be interested, just looking at it as a mathematical percentage points. But also, one very good point that people forget to overlook, and one of the main reasons why volume is so important, is that you are going to be learning, you're going to be improving twice as fast. Let's say you are boxing. I've got a fight on Friday, I've got a fight in 2 weeks as well. Let's say I'm boxing. If I go boxing once a week, I'm increasing at a certain rate. But if I go boxing twice a week, then I'm now improving even faster. So if you're sending twice as many messages per day, you are going to be actually improving at your appointment setting and getting better much quicker as you go along that process, which is therefore going to help you earn more appointment setting, that you're going to earn more money for appointment setting even sooner. So let's say it took you a year to get better at appointment setting, to the point where after you've sent 100 messages a day for a whole year, you now get 5% better at appointment setting. Think of it like a video game. So after a year of appointment setting, 100 messages a day, you get a 10% stat boost on your appointment setting. But let's say you send 200 messages a day, then that only takes you half a year. It only takes you 6 months to get that same 10% stat boost. And therefore that 10% stat boost will actually help you increase that moving forward. For the whole extra 6 months of that year, you're actually making more money as an appointment setter because you're actually more efficient. Your conversion rates have gone up. I hope I'm not speaking a foreign language right now, boys. I really hope that this all makes sense. This is just how I see it in my head. Let's do a little graph. This is volume, this is income. Let me just copy and paste this. So in graph 1, this is how you would assume. You'd assume more volume equals more income. And you'd assume it just goes in a straight line like that, which would mathematically make sense. More volume, more income. But this is not how it works, because if you factor in the fact that you are actually learning at twice the rate, it actually goes something like this. It's a compounding curve. Instead of a straight line, it curves, and the growth is pretty drastic. Once you start hitting those big volume numbers, that's why it's so important being able to fully commit, because yes, you can half commit. You can half commit, and maybe instead of growing like this, let's change the color. Instead of growing like this, you do a tiny bit more outreach per day, and maybe your results look like something like this. Okay, now you start picking up a little bit because you're improving a little bit faster. Okay, boom. Now you're slightly above average. Well done. Or I'd consider that a part-time savage, right? That's a part-time savage. They do a little bit of extra work, but you know, they clock in, clock out, still play video games, still watch porn, still mouth breathing.
That's the definition of part-time savage.
Etc. You get the idea. Then you get a full-time savage that is fully dedicated to this. If they have any spare time in the day, if they're on the toilet taking a dump, then they get their phone out and they start doing outreach, then this is what their results are going to be, and they're going to get a lot further with appointment setting. Got a rocket emoji here. They're going to absolutely fly off, right? So you've got two choices. So it all comes down to this quote. I think it's from Alex Hormozi. I've absolutely murdered that quote. I've sort of just made it up as I go along, but I know it's something along those lines. But do so much of that thing that it becomes unreasonable for you not to be successful. If you do so much basketball practice, if you literally spend 6 hours every single day training basketball, I know I'm going to get some of you like part-time savages in the comments like, oh, well, 6 hours a day of basketball, that's not efficient, that's not scientific, that's not good for you. Let's be real. If you did basketball for 6 hours every single day, after a year you'd be a beast. After 5 years you'd be incredible at basketball. Let's be real. You know, you can make all the excuses like, oh, science says, but shut up. If you do so much appointment setting, so if you do twice as much appointment setting than everyone else, then yes, your income is going to directly increase, but you're also going to learn at twice the rate. And if you learn at twice the rate, that is what's actually going to set you apart from everyone else. Doing so much volume. So when it comes to volume, it's not just outreach. Let's say you've got an inbound position where you're dealing with inbound leads. How would you increase your volume? Okay, you can only reply to a certain amount of messages per day, of course. I know a lot of guys that have got inbound positions, and maybe the ads only run between a certain time. The ads only run between like 9 p.m. and 5 p.m. or something like that. Well, okay, after the ads have finished running for the day and you finish getting those inbound leads, okay, now it's time to sit down and do 4 hours of outreach. Okay, you are a closer and you are getting all of these nice, perfect calls all day, like they've watched the VSL, they're all qualified leads, they're all warmed up, and you're gonna get soft. You're gonna get used to all of these perfect warm leads. Well, okay, after your last call of the day, time to hit the phone. Start doing cold calls. Start cold calling. Start trying to generate more leads. Start appointment setting, doing some outreach. Start ringing up all your blowouts or your all leads. Do what you gotta do. Put in that extra work, and by doing that extra volume, that is going to set you apart from everyone else. Sales is a competitive industry, of course. It's not saturated like a lot of the other stuff, but it still is competitive. The guys that get into sales, obviously, they're not stupid like all of you guys starting dropshipping or SMMA. They're dumb. They're not dumb. The guys in sales know what they're doing. So even though there's not as much competition, the competition is a lot smarter than the competition that you're used to. So it's important that you take the time, you fully commit to this. And if you fully commit, then you will get the results. It would be unreasonable for you not to get the results. If you do so much volume, focus on doing so much volume that it would be unreasonable for you not to master the skill. Forget about the money for now. Focus on mastering the skill. And as you learn the skill and as you actually get better at appointment setting, then your income's going to increase. Again, I'm mainly targeting this video towards appointment setting and sales, but again, it goes across all different industries, right? Let's say you actually do own a social media marketing agency, or maybe you're a coach or consultant or whatever it is. Do so much volume that you make your competitors look like absolute wimps. This help, boys. Keep grinding.